Hi, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I am Shane. We are back with the Findlay Fresh Air Podcast. First and foremost, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Obviously, I saw a bunch of kids wandering around the streets, and I was like, did the old man thing. I was like, why aren't these kids in school? They pointed out it was a holiday, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. So, good morning, fellas. We have with us today a whole plethora of folks. I'm going to introduce them here. We have Ron Meyer, who is the track owner at Mohave Valley Raceway. Welcome.
Thank you.
Sean, our flag man, also our service manager, problem solver. All my problems that get filtered to service go to Sean. So if I've ever helped you in service, this is the guy who actually did the work. And then we got the race car driver, Cam the man.
How's it going?
Yeah, Cam the man.
Cameron Williams. We were debating about shortening everything up for the show. Gentlemen, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. You guys got a lot going on out there, and it's kind of nice to have a bunch of different perspectives from different phases of the race world. So if I ask a question to Sean and it rings a bell, by all means chime up. We do have this script that I think Jim got us from ChatGPT. Yeah. I will refer to it from time to time, but I'm just excited to talk to you guys and talk about this event you have coming up. So you do have a big event coming up that used to be hosted in Vegas.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they used to, I think, 25 years, 30 years,
just
I think,
about.
something like that. I'm not really quite sure because I was never really on that side of it. I was usually the driver, not the track owner. So I didn't really pay much attention to the time. But I knew they weren't running it this year, and I had a lot of people hit me up telling me that I should do it. So we kind of got a late start on it, to be honest with you, I think, because they've got a lot of people coming from out of state and from Canada. We got a couple cars coming out of Canada, and so we have a lot of people. But I was hoping to get more than we have right now. But like I said, we got a late start on it. So if everything goes well this year, I'm planning on doing it again next year.
So that's what I was going to ask you. The first thing that came to mind is, oh boy, it's coming from Vegas to here. That's got to bring in a lot of new faces, opportunity, things into our backyard. You said Canada?
Yeah, they're coming as far as Canada, and I know Kansas, a couple cars coming out of Kansas, a couple out of Iowa,
Wisconsin.
Wyoming, Wisconsin. I think there's a couple cars coming, Wisconsin, Oregon. But I heard the car coming out of Oregon, I think they had motorhome problems last night, so I think they're turning around, so they might not be making it. So.
That happens.
Well, listen, we know that happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the, and this obviously for all you guys, tell me a little bit about the event. What is it? Why is it coming here from Vegas? And what is the significance of this particular event? Yeah, as you say, I think Jeff does have some, the duel at Mohave Valley Raceway 2025. Fill me in, fellas. I'm not in the race world. There's a lot of big numbers up there. I like to see that. It's a lot of sevens.
Scary.
It's a lot of sevens. Go out there, spend some money, fill up that cash pool. Tell me a little bit about it, fellas. What is this race?
Well, like I said, it's a prestigious. It originally was in Vegas, which IMCA sanctioning used to sanction the racetrack, and then XR took it over probably 5 years ago, and I think ever since then, I think it kind of started going downhill. So we're trying to bring it back and get its prestige back into actually in Arizona now. It was in Nevada, but it's been going on, and like I said, I had a couple people hit me up. We should do it, and they
Pop that up later.
They
Jeff.
helped out with a little bit of sponsorship money, the same as Findlay did, and we appreciate all the help we've had. There's still most of it's coming out of my pocket, which, like I said before,
That's no fun.
I'm a retired guy, and I don't really have much source of an income, really. So on my end, it's a little bit on the scary side, but like I said, I'm hoping for good things, and hopefully in the future we could keep it.
You went from, man, racing's expensive. I'll own the track. This will be way better to, holy cow, I'm still paying.
Well,
It's still more expensive.
yeah, racing's a very expensive sport, and I try to give back to the racers as much as possible. We're probably one of the highest paying weekly program out there right now at Mohave Valley, and if we could get more of a fan base out there, I could afford to pay the drivers more money, and that's really my plan, really, in doing this. And because like I said, the expense of owning a race car and bringing it to my racetrack and racing is very, very expensive. So, and I know that because I've done it myself for many years. So, and 5 years ago, my brother hit me up because Mohave Valley became for sale, and didn't really take much coaxing in me because I've been in racing my whole life, me and my brother Bill. And my wife is a big supporter, and it's, like I said, racing's been in my blood since I was in my mom's tummy. Now I'm 67 years old, so I've been around it quite a long time.
One thing I've found is if the wife's not supportive, she becomes the ex-wife one way or the other. So.
Yes.
No, just a joke to all the race guys. So Cameron, tell me a little bit about what's it like to you as a racer bringing this down here. I mean, I know you race all over. People do come to this track from out of the area, but this sounds like it's a little bit of a bigger draw. As a racer, what's it like having these people come in here into your backyard?
So, it's a little nerve-wracking, of course, because I race here every week. So, to the public eye, I should be one of the top guys out there this week. But, the guys that are coming from Iowa, Wisconsin, Oregon, making the, 20-hour drive to come visit this track and race, they're racing 3-4 nights a week. These are some of the best guys in the country. They have the All-Star race in Boone. A lot of those guys are coming out here to, just get some extra money. This is one of the more higher paying events we have in the circle track world.
So do you feel obligated to be a little bit of a steward and welcome them in and show them the way, or you feel like, maybe I gotta take it to these guys a little bit?
Of course I'll be there to welcome them in the pits, but as soon as we strap in the race cards, no friends out there.
That's what I like to hear. Very cool. So now how long you been racing?
I started racing when I was 5 years old, out here at Mohave in the, at the time it was the outlaw kart division they had. Those kind of got out of the budget for the parents and stuff, so now we went to the Mini Dorf program out there, which is
cool.
A lot more budget friendly for the parents to get into it. From there, raced those from I was 5 to I was 13 just because of age. Couldn't race on the bid track because of insurance. As soon as I turned 13, we had a mini sport division, which was 4 cylinders, a little more souped up, race tires, race suspension on them. And then as soon as I turned 15, IMCA gave me the green light to race modifieds. I've been doing that since. I just turned 23 in the beginning of September, end of August. So
Just been doing it your whole life, no big
pretty
deal.
much, that's all I know.
No big deal, right?
Yeah.
So now you do travel out of area quite a bit to race. Is there a big difference in from track to track in this world?
Huge difference in track to track. The dirt world is really unforgiving because it depends on what the atmosphere is like during the day, during the week, how long ago it rained last, how much water the water truck put out. If a water truck bursts a pipe, it can flood the racetrack instantly and completely change the night, from the start of the race to the finish of the race. Here is a medium bank track, kind of sweeping straightaways, corners. It's more of a circle than a true oval. Then we go to places like Central Arizona in Casa Grande. That's one big circle, high banking. We went and raced in Shola this year. It was a tight oval, small track. Again, high banking there. Go to Kern, kind of flat, your more traditional oval shaped track. So
when did you fellas meet Ron?
I met Ron when he ended up taking over the track. I've known his brother, Bill, since I was a toddler out there. His brother raced at that track every week from the moment I can remember watching a race there.
Yep, and I started out there in 2021, fresh out of Chicago, so that was about the same time I met him, was 2021 or so, when I started on safety. Kind of like everybody else up here. I mean, I grew up around a racetrack. My hometown track back in Chicago is Rockford Speedway. It's now closed, but that had a good 76-year run, I believe. So,
Oh boy.
that was awesome to grow up there. And when we moved to this area, that was honestly kind of one of the first things I found was a racetrack. So it made it feel a little bit more like home. Dirt world for me is different. I grew up around asphalt all my life, but
Dirt's better.
it's growing on me. Like the old Amish says, asphalt's for getting there, dirt's for racing. So, but yeah, I've enjoyed it. I mean, there's pictures of me when I was 5, 6 years old, that little kid in the stand waving flags,
Yeah.
and here I am, kind of making it full circle. Ron gave me the opportunity to step up and do that after another one of our coworkers, Trevor, left and doing his thing now. So. it's fun, you know, and it's exciting to be part of it, you know, because the prestige of this event, you know, I would say it's the West Coast Super Bowl. It seems like of the dirt world, especially for the IMCA modifieds. You know, I mean, we did go up to one of the races up in Las Vegas, kind of on a rescue mission, but stayed the night there and watched it one year. And it was, they had, I want to say, upper part of 150 cars or so
Something like
show
that, yeah.
up, and it's an
boy.
event. It's an event.
They
so.
had as much as over 200, like 250
Yeah.
cars there. But
Yep.
like I said, I think it's kind of run down a little bit, and we're trying to bring
it back.
but
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what-
absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to
So,
do.
Ron, when was the first time you watched Cameron race? Was it recently or when he was young?
Well, I used to come up here because I still live in California. So I come up because my brother's been racing here since 2005. He moved up here in 2005. So I come up and watch him every once in a while. And so, in all honesty, probably the first time I really paid any attention to him is when I became the track owner, because I had to pay more attention and be more involved and get to know the drivers and the families. And racing is just really, like I said, it's been in my blood, and it's like, it's very family oriented, and it's what I'm trying to do, you know, like, people really turning it into more of a professional side of it, I guess you might say. And I try to run my track as more as like a family-friendly racetrack where you come out here and have fun and enjoy yourself. I mean, we charge a minimum, you know, we charge $15 to get in the grandstands, which is probably the cheapest racing event.
You don't hear anything for $15 anymore.
And
I think it cost me $10 to go to a high school football game.
And then that's what I say, it's very
Yeah.
cheap entertainment for the families. You can afford to bring your family out here. For the veterans and the seniors, we do $12. I mean, you can't hardly get anything out here for that
No.
cheap of money. And that's what I'm trying to get now. We need to keep the racetrack really running and be, you know, a little bit prosperous. Right now, we're not really making any money. We're kind of like a break-even type thing. But that's what we need to really do, is get more fans out there in the grandstands and enjoy the entertainment. And I try to even get the fans to even go down to the pits after the racetrack to get to know the drivers. And a lot of people don't want to go down after races because it seems like most of the people actually leave early because they're on a time. They're like on a time thing. It's a different. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to go down to the pits.
Yeah.
And look at
The
cars.
reality is that stuff is every bit as fun as the actual races. Going
Absolutely.
down, you know, shaking hands,
Yeah, get
seeing the
autographs
cars, the wrecks. You hear the.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you ever been around a race car that fires up? It's a different thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally, yeah.
It's one of the things that almost every, you know, we just had some NASCAR tickets come through the dealership. A bunch of guys go, and the thing that everybody talks about is the way it makes you feel. You know,
It's-
physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, the smell of the fuel, the rumble of the engines
Yeah,
when
you
they
can
fly
watch-
by, it scares the
You
shit
can
out
watch
of you.
it on TV, and TV definitely doesn't do it any justice.
No.
You have to be there up in person, and it's a whole different ballgame than just watching it on TV. I mean, I go to a lot of races throughout the whole country. Like, I'm getting ready to go. I'm going back to the Dome. They have a Dome race back in St. Louis, and I'm just really a race fan in general. And there's nothing better than being at the racetrack and watching it on TV. I got all the TV.
Wildly different experience.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
Well, it's funny that the experience of sitting in the stands and watching it and then waving the flags, because when Cam and 22 other of the modifieds go underneath you at 80 miles an hour, and he tries to rip the flag right out of my hand. And, you know, there's a few races every year where we'll have a guest starter up there with me, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, when they're coming underneath of you, it's going to want to rip that flag right out of your hand. So make sure you hold
Does that
on
ever
to it.
happen?
Knock on wood, not yet. So never ripped it out yet, but it wouldn't surprise me.
So-
I just
so-
got him some new flags, so they might be a little slippery.
Oh, yeah. Don't drop the new one. I tell you that much. If I know anything about, you know, spending some budget, don't drop the new stuff.
Yep.
You mentioned the class you race. Tell me again what it is.
It's an IMCA modified.
What's the brass tacks of that category? What are we
So-
talking about?
So they're kind of their own animal. The front stub of the race car, front clip of the race car, started out as a 72 Chevelle. They cut it up. The only Chevelle part of it is the cross member down to the factory frame rail, right to the driver's seat. Other than that, it's all tube suspension. Rear end is 4-link suspension. not similar to like the drag racing or trophy truck 4-link you'd see. The entire axle shifts as you hit the gas, moves the race car to the geometry of the race car. You know, the car looks like a stink bug as soon as you hit the gas. You know, the rear end jacks up, the front end drops to the ground, and it just takes off and goes.
Yeah. And what kind of horsepower are we pushing?
So now pretty much everyone's on a crate motor from Chevrolet. They're pushing out 400 to 450. This year they allowed us a spec motor program, which is certain head part numbers, different camshaft rules, intake rules, stuff like that. Those are probably 450 to 500 horsepower, I would guess. You know, just depending on how big you build it, how small you build it. So anywhere, 400 or 500 horsepower for these guys.
And you're talking about passing you at 80.
Oh yeah.
What
They're probably doing.
What are they taking in these turns? I mean, if you've never been out there and seen it, it's barely driving. It's the thing like never actually stops on a straight plane for very long.
No.
Tell me a little bit about what kind of speeds are we talking about here?
Here at Mohave, we're probably 80, 90 miles an hour down the straightaway into the corner. The track in Vegas, with it being a bigger track, we were probably closer to 110, 115 down the straightaways. But here, smaller track, tighter corners, don't really get as fast as like Vegas, but we're still hauling the mail. You hit someone, you feel it, definitely.
Yeah, I bet. So I was going to ask you, how many guys are on a track at a time? It's not that big a track. It gets congested. It's racing.
Yeah, so I believe this event is going to start 24 cars. So there'll be, you and 23 other guys out there, all door to door, bumper to bumper.
All fighting for their real estate on a 3/8 mile track.
Yeah.
It's a racy little racetrack. It puts on some really good racing. Really.
We don't want to give away any house secrets here with competition coming in, but is there a little bit of home track advantage kicking in here?
A little. First night definitely will be, because a lot of guys, it's their first time here, so they won't quite get the track figured out the first night. So that's really what I'm hoping to shine is, I race this thing every week, have hundreds of thousands of laps around it. I kind of know a couple spots, where to go, where to not go.
There's a track.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, beautiful. And honestly, it'll probably be, what time you guys starting? It'll probably be dark by the time it really gets going. But
It'll be dust.
it's a beautiful, beautiful place to watch a race.
It starts at 6 o'clock. Racing starts at 6. The front gates open up at 5 o'clock for the spectators.
Very cool. Now, do you guys have, what would you call, like in football, you have tailgating? You got people like come out early and set up shop? Do you just the people in the pits coming early?
No,
Do you guys have pre-festivities? What's the event like?
Well, with the Arizona laws and drinking, you're not supposed to have tailgating out in the parking lot because they have designated drinking area, which is actually inside of the fencing. So people do tailgate, I guess, but it's not really
It's frowned upon.
supposed to be. Yeah.
We don't condone the tailgating.
And then Friday night we're gonna have not really a band. I don't even remember that dude's name.
His name's Chris Gray. He performs out here.
I say,
quite
we actually have a
often.
fly. It's part of the flyer here.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You're gonna
Yeah.
have a little pre-tune-up.
Yeah.
Little-
Well, that's
a
gonna
little
be
party.
after. That's after. That's gonna
Post
be the
tune-up?
after party.
Yeah, one of the guys I met, out, he was performing out at a bar, showed up wearing a racing t-shirt, and he was like, hey, you race? You into racing? So just met, talked to him that way, and then, got him linked up with Richie, one of the guys helping promote this event. He got him booked for this Friday night out there at the racetrack, so should be a good deal for him, good deal for all of us.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I know I jump around a little bit, Jeff. Sorry, but we actually have some pictures of some cars. I think you guys, if you have those up, Jeff, just tell me what we got going on here. And you guys got to excuse me, although, I like it. There we go. That's the picture we want to
There
see.
you go.
There's
Look
me,
at that.
Probably 6 years old, I would say, 6 or 7 years old. And, like I said, been doing it since.
That's your outlaw car, right?
Yeah, that was the outlaw cart. Like I said, we don't run those anymore just because they kind of got too spendy.
Yeah, like that the flag's as big as he is,
Yeah,
right?
there's me and my dad right there.
Papa
That's
Jim racing.
probably 13 years old, I'd say, 12, 13 years old. There's me, probably 14, right as soon as we got that I'll be 15 in this because we're selling the car because we just got the approval to go race modifieds. There's my
Oh, look at
modified
that.
for, I believe this was the 21 season. Finley sponsored me.
Look at that
We
elite
brought it to
sponsorship placement right there.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
We brought that.
Right there in the sale panel, yeah.
And there was a couple of years ago out there at Mohave Valley Raceway.
That was when you first got
This
the
is the
new car.
beginning of this year. Brand new car. This is the car you'll see out there this weekend. So,
Man, that front logo placement's not great. We got to work on that.
yeah. That was me, probably 7 years old, out at the bull ring. There's that
That's
same
asphalt
photo.
man.
there.
We need some of your placement out at the racetrack.
That was a project
That's
I
what
did
we
for
need.
school forever ago,
Ever played football?
which changed.
Change, good.
That changed. I played a lot of football growing up, so
Very cool, man. Very cool. Look at that. You've been doing media forever.
yep, that was the night.
That
I
explains why
won.
you were the least nervous about coming on here.
Yeah.
You've been doing media the whole time.
Huh.
Yep, very cool, man. So it's really in your DNA. I mean, I
it's
know.
kind of all I grew up doing, all I really know outside of work and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. And now, obviously, we saw your dad. He'd been service manager for quite some time, or I think I shortchanged him. I took your title.
Fixed ops driver.
Fixed ops director. I apologize, Jim.
Or head
and-
janitor, however he's feeling.
He's been head janitor for a long time. So he's our most tenured head janitor in the dealership. So, but he'd been into motorsports as long as I've known him
Yeah.
before you were around. So, what's it like, kind of being the family thing?
yeah, him and I are out in the garage, most nights of the week, just tinkering, doing something, whether it's sheet metal work, just nut and bolting the race car, making sure everything's ready to go for the next race. There's always something to do on the race car. It's a part-time job that doesn't pay.
It's
So-
Yeah.
costs. It's
Yeah.
like,
Labor of love.
coaching youth sports. It's,
Exactly.
yeah. So, Ron, you had talked about kind of embracing the family element of racing. It sounds like it's a lot of other things where it started out as like kind of a family hobby or this and that, and it's really leaned towards, big money, professional. It sounds like you really appreciate the family aspect of it.
100%. Yeah. Like I said, when I grew up racing, I started racing back in 1975, actually. So I've been around a long time doing it. And we used to race at Ascot, which is now gone. Most of the racetracks out in California are pretty much gone nowadays. All the tracks
Really?
I ran at, yeah. I ran Ascot, Bakersfield Speedway. They just closed up this year. Actually, it was at Oildale, the old Oildale track. They do still have Kern. And like I said, when I grew up, the fans used to come down in the stands afterwards. I used to sign a lot of autographs, and it makes you as a driver feel better because people are watching you, and it's just it's really a cool thing. And like I said, the younger generation, I think we're losing some of the younger generation. It's sad to me because to me it's really going away, I think, and it's sad. Like sprint car racing, when I went to Ascot back in the 80s and 90s, Ascot used to get 50 sprint cars there a night. They're down like Paris a couple times this year. They had like 16 cars showed up, and that's not. It's
Yeah.
just the expense. The expense of race cars, like I said, is just. It's too great for the amount of money you can afford to really pay them. I wish I could pay them more money, but
Right.
the money's just not there because the money doesn't come in the front gate. So, the more people we can get in the front gate, the more we can give back to the racers. And that's
Now,
what
the
I'm
interesting
trying to
thing
do.
is, I'm guessing if there was zero money, you and your dad still be racing something,
Something.
right?
Whether-
So I mean,
Yeah.
like it's a
Probably, yeah.
passion.
Because
The
it's-
racers will race,
100%.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
They all talk about the money, but the bottom line is, like you said, they'll show up
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
race because it's in your blood. So.
as long as we don't see you guys out in the street like foot racing, we'll
Yeah.
be good. So. Nobody's coming to
Yeah.
watch that.
No.
So now, as a young man, you hear, what it was, tracks closing, losing interest. It's a passion for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the disconnect with the next generation? Is it?
I think a lot of it, the cliche, social media, stuff like that.
Technology,
Like
right.
Ron was saying, he subscribes to all the different broadcasting partners, all the different pay-per-views. I do as well. So, like there's races in Paris, California that go, and Bakersfield. I'm guilty myself. I'll sit at home and watch that instead of going out there, going to the racetrack.
You don't sit at the racetrack on your phone, do you?
You do sometimes,
I do.
especially like bigger races, like the Duel in the Desert here. You know, I've been guilty in Vegas. You can't see the racetrack when you're getting ready to go out. So I'll have a crew guy friend come over with the phone, and I'm watching the broadcast, just learning the information I can on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Try to see,
That
okay,
makes
this
sense.
guy was good here, not good here. You know, you can kind of see the trends of the racetrack and other racers out there.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's-
think
that's
it's just a
something to-
disconnect from the automobile, because when I grew up,
Yeah.
I mean, the automobile was like, I had bought my first car when I was 13. I couldn't even drive, but
Yeah.
just working on it, being, you know, nowadays the technology is so great. Most people can't, myself even, I've been working around my cars whole life, and I don't even know. You need to be no, not even.
You got to be a
certified.
computer programmer.
Computer
Listen,
programmer.
Sean will be the first one to
Exactly.
tell you.
Exactly. That's what you have to do.
So I go into the
nowadays.
shop nowadays, and there are guys getting greasy, getting dirty, but there are just as many out there on a laptop
Yeah.
or with a
Yeah.
hand tool, reading things, programming things. It really has changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how the culture, even as techs themselves. I mean,
Oh,
the makeup of your technician has changed. It's
Absolutely.
not
Yeah,
what it once was.
technology has really ruined a lot of things. I mean, it's not like.
Now you're
you know,
talking my language here.
like
Let's
I
go.
yeah, I mean, because I've been in the wrecking yard business my whole life, and it's really destroyed that business also because of the fact everything nowadays on an automobile has to be reprogrammed. Even they're down to the windshield now. You gotta
Yep.
reprogram a windshield.
Yeah.
Yep, program the cameras.
We see it a lot on the retail side where, you know, we have a lot of customers who go, I don't need and I don't want all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's the
It's
way
there,
of
you
the
have
world
to.
now. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, because
Yeah.
I grew up in an era where I used to work on my own car. Now, I don't even change my own oil anymore because it's easier just to take it and have somebody do it because you don't have to
Sean
dispose of your
supports that.
oil.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do support that.
Yeah. Well, because you don't have to dispose of your oil. Everything is just
Yeah.
so
Yep.
EPA or whatever you want to call
yeah,
it.
that's it. We could talk
crazy.
about
Yeah, it's
how
nuts.
good it was and also how weird. I remember watching people just dump their oil on the side of the house
Oh, yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the day,
Yep.
and not thinking twice about it. Now you go, maybe that wasn't a great idea.
Right.
You know, but the world has definitely changed. I would say that the one thing that hasn't changed is if you can get people out and get their butts in the seats, a real experience has an effect on them.
I agree. So we're doing that. That's what I'm trying to do right now, like through town or whatever. I have free tickets in my truck at all the time. I put signs on my truck now. If I see anybody in the gas station or whatever, ask if they've ever been to the racetrack, and they say no, I'll give them tickets. I'm trying to give a lot of free tickets out just to try to get people
some
out
butts
to
in
the
some seats?
racetrack and get more butts in the seats. Because, in my opinion, hey, if you've been there once, I think you'd want to come back. That's what I think. But also, people like free stuff, so they might be waiting for more.
Well,
free
listen,
tickets.
we
I
completely
don't know.
understand. I'll tell you, maybe we can we get off of here. We'll get maybe we'll get Jeff do a little promotion, a little giveaway on his channel or our page. If you don't mind parting with a couple tickets, put some butts in some seats for you. But I did see. Do you have the access to that video Cameron sent us?
But kind of following up on your question too about how to reconnect with that younger generation. Ron, a couple of years back, there was this. They're called mini dwarfs. They're really go-karts with a cage strapped to them, and this was a new class to us. We had the little. I don't even know what size the little track is. That's inside the infield at the Raceway, and these kids race. I believe the starting age is 5 and goes up to 12, kind of like the old outlaw karts do, and that class has really grown as
Listen,
well.
I want to know how you get a 5-year-old to drive a little race car, and I can't get people to drive down 95 worth of dams.
Hey,
That's what I want to know. They're a licensed driver on a straight road, and they can't
Some
pull
of
it
them little
off.
kids are really, I mean, and they
Listen.
improve quick. I mean,
Yeah.
I like watching them actually.
I'd be lying to you if I haven't dodged a couple carts. So, if you can dodge a race car, you can dodge a ball. But, it's awesome. We have those essentially part of our weekly show. I think they only get a couple races off a year, but it's awesome seeing those kids. I've watched some of them where they start off. We got 3 different classes. We have minions, we have sportsmen, and masters. And
What was the first one?
Minions.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
Those are the little guys.
Those are
How
5-year-olds
appropriate.
brand new. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they even started 4. I think.
Yeah, I'd have to get more clarification, but it's cool, actually being able to, because I flagged those guys too, and it's, it's cool to watch them, progress. And,
yeah, absolutely.
There's been a few where, 1 week they're sitting in the back because they're brand new in their car their first time, and, 3, 4 races later, they're up there keeping up with the big guys, that's been in their class all year. So
Very cool.
I mean, you probably
cool
see
to
it
watch
with, youth sports. You get these little
Yeah.
kids come in, they can't even run the right direction. And then, 2, 3
Yeah.
practices later, they're the best player on the team.
It's amazing how much kids can pick up and grow in a quick, especially like,
Yep.
I ain't changing much at this point. I'm doing what I'm doing. But man, kids are amazing. They, if you get them exposed to it early, man, it's like yourself. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, like Sean was saying, avoiding kids and carts. I almost got kicked out of the racetrack my first year because I was too out of control, too everywhere.
Yeah.
And then one day, the light switch flipped, and I've been doing it since. So,
Now, I'm going to ask some dumb questions because I'm not a race guy, right? You're the flag man.
Yes.
How many flags are there?
There's technically 7 flags.
Okay, I only know green, checkered flag. What's white? Last lap.
yeah.
White's the last lap.
Red
yep.
means don't go. Is
Red
that
means,
universal?
red means stop. Yep.
Okay.
Stop.
What? Give me the breakdown.
So you got green.
And I want to know where you get your. Are you observing it, or somebody calling you, telling you what to do? Is that your call?
So at the racetrack, there's myself and a race director, but there's also safety personnel. And so we got green, which of course is going to start a race. That's when full throttle, hammer down, we're going. We got the yellow, of course. If you got a wreck on the racetrack or something like that, that's going to come out. And not only do I kind of observe that, but anybody else can tell me, hey, there's something over here. We probably need to, debris or whatever if I can't see it. So that's going to slow everybody down so I can get out there and address whatever's on the track. Of course, white flag is last lap. Checkered flag, we're done. You got the red, means stop. Typically that comes out with heavy duty wrecks, maybe a rollover or something like that. You got the yellow and blue flag, which means the leaders are coming. So hold your line, don't move anywhere.
I've never even
Yeah.
seen or heard that. That
Yep.
misses all the movies apparently.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's that one. You got the black flag, which means somebody, whether it be me or somebody else, might be a little angry with you. So get off my racetrack, and we'll talk about it later.
That's the axe. That's
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
To
that's
disqualify.
get the hell out of here.
The technical foul.
How often
essentially.
does that happen?
A couple times a year. We try to keep
Is
it
that
to a
the
minimum.
where you see the dudes down there fighting in the pits after? Is that the?
Well, we use it.
Normally, yeah.
We probably use it more than because we have this one spin rule, like in the heat race,
Yep.
you spin out, and some people don't want to exit the racetrack, so that you put on a black flag to get them
Yeah.
off the track.
Yep. So that happens, but we try to, as getting angry with somebody or whatever, we try to keep that to a minimum. Just it's a racing deal, so we understand emotions can run high there.
Yeah.
Let's see, how many flags do I have? 2. I think that's 6, and I'm missing one. Where am I missing one at? I got the hold your line, checkered. Maybe I did get them all.
You guys add the
No
mechanical.
medical flag? No medical?
That would be the red flag.
Red flag?
Red-
Because it
red
stops
flag.
cars.
Yeah.
If it's bad enough, they tell us over. Because we have a radio, a one-way radio that
Yeah,
we can
receiver.
listen to. The race director, Sean's on it occasionally. Just to, if someone spins out, yellow flag's out, they're in turn 1. That way, we're not bonsaiing it in there and hitting the guy, causing a red flag.
Yeah. So Ron, is the owner, what's your race time role? Are you actively involved in the race regulation? Are you able to sit up in the box and enjoy? What's
No,
happening?
I'm all over the place, to be honest.
Working your butt off.
Well, yeah, I take care of the restrooms if we have a toilet failure. I take care of all.
The luxurious life of an owner, folks.
Yeah. It's, and I try to watch some of the races. I don't get to watch a lot of them because I got to do payroll. I got to get all the envelopes ready to pay the driver at the end of the night. Like I said, repairing the toilets if they fail. Pretty much, my wife runs a souvenir stand, so I might stand in for her for a minute while she goes to the restroom or something, or just pretty much anything that's needed.
Sounds like everything.
Yeah. I try to
Where do
watch
we
some
get
of the
this impression of
races,
this
so I have-
luxury owner box? These guys sit up there in the fur coats, living the dream.
Well, yeah, that doesn't happen.
That's not too prevalent in the racing world most of the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it sounds like you work your butt off. You had mentioned being in wrecking yards. Is that what you'd done most of your life?
Yep, my whole life, yeah.
And you wanted to continue. You mentioned
Well, my plan
tracks
was like,
closing around you. Did you just kind of want to stay involved in it? What led you out here?
No, not really. Like I said, I quit at 60 years old. I quit working, and I sat on the couch for
Doesn't
about 2
sound
months.
like you quit working very well.
Well, no, that was my plan. I quit working, but you know, when you get up, every day, you go to school when you're a kid, and you get up every day, you go to work. And I literally, no lie, I sat on my couch for about 2 months, and I told my wife, I said, man, I might as well just go back to work. I'm not one to really just sit around, but I didn't really know what to do with myself, so I bought a couple trailers, and I started hauling cars for my son, and so I do a lot of towing, and then my brother, like I said, called me up probably when I was, 5 years, we had the track 5 years, almost 6 years now, and he called me up, asked if I'd be interested in buying a racetrack, and I said, well, I'm really not doing anything else, so I said, sure, let's try it. So here we are. And when we bought the track, I didn't realize it was in that bad a shape, but the track was really, really, really run down. I mean, we had to put roofs on every building.
The actual track itself, or just the facilities in
the
general?
facility. I mean, every roof from the snack bar to the press box to the bathrooms, everyone. And I never really paid no attention to that when I went to go watch the track. But every roof on that place had a hole in it. So that was my first job.
So your first part of coming out of it and becoming an owner was becoming a roofer.
I've been a plumber. I'm
Painter.
a painter.
Nice.
Grandstands
the
builder.
grandstands were really falling down, so we had to nut and bolt it. I drilled holes because it's kind of like all slide together, so we nut and bolted all
So you
that
made some big
together.
improvements.
Oh yeah, we put a whole new catch fence on there because the catch fence was literally when I got my new one ready to go, I literally kicked it down. And,
Oh,
and
wow.
I wanted to bring sprint
And it was
cars
supposed
to
to
the
catch race
racetrack.
cars?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't gonna catch. It wasn't.
It was
literally,
supposed to, but
I
yeah.
swear, it's true
Wouldn't
as I
catch a
can,
loogie
yeah.
coming out of there.
So we put all new catch fence on the front straightaway because I wanted to bring sprint cars back to the track, which we did do that. We brought them back, 4 years ago, I think it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 4 years ago, once I put a new catch fence on there, so we got 2 sprint car races a year there now. And the fans really seem to enjoy it. That's usually my biggest crowd when sprint cars come out there.
Why is that?
Because people just like open wheels and they're fast. They're faster than,
Yeah.
you know, they got a lot of more horsepower. They got like 900 horsepower. And like I said, people like speed and they like
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound. And
900 horsepower, about 1,500 pounds a car.
yeah, they're fast.
Your legs are
fast.
around the motor in it. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
yeah.
Mine.
I feel like I put all new urinals in the bathrooms. So far, all it's been for me really is the money pit. But,
new LED lights.
I feel like this should be a movie, right? We
Yeah.
should be,
Yeah,
I bought a
could've.
nice little racetrack. I'm going to go out and enjoy retirement. And then it's,
yeah, the first 2 things we did was actually fix the grandstands and we put all new lighting around the track because it was so dark and you couldn't really even see it at nighttime. I ran the track back in '05 and I went off turn 1. I couldn't even see the track, and
oh, wow.
because the lighting out there was terrible. But it's the lighting's good now. We put a scoreboard up there. There was no scoreboard, so the fans can kind of watch the racing, kind of know more where the leaders are, how many laps are in there. We put a scoreboard up there. We had to we rewired the
system.
whole racetrack because it used to run off of the generator. So we wired the whole track so everything runs off the
electrical grid.
electrical.
Yeah, you say
the
run
grid
off a
now.
generator seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah,
but-
well, we had a lot of generator problems. You know, you
Yeah.
never knew when the generator was going to break
Very
or
cool.
whatever. So we've got most of the issues at the racetrack, I think, solved now. We just cleaned out the whole back area now for more parking for this race in general. We cleaned out another 160 spots to park race cars.
Yep.
We put like a catwalk back there now. We just brought in some containers and we built a catwalk this week. Actually, we just did that. So I mean, that's really all we've really done since we took over the track is really work on and try to make big improvements.
Let me ask you guys this, and this is probably, you can give me your best guesses, but you put on how many events annually?
I'm wanting to say
Well,
15 total because we have, which we lost. We used to do monster trucks, but I guess they outgrew us. They went to Vegas this year, so we lost the monster
That's
truck
no
deal.
fun.
I'm trying to bring them back. And then next year, in January, we're gonna have a demolition derby. We had a
nice.
demolition derby last year. So I think totally we have like probably 15. We try to do like bi-weekly and then we shut down the whole summer because it's too hot during summer to do
Good
any kind
idea.
of racing.
I support that idea.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So how many of the people that come and race there or support are from out of area? How much money do you think you guys actually bring into the area? And that's including people coming from Kingman, Havasu. How much
Vegas.
How much money, how much do you think you actually bring? Because I know there are Saturday nights where I see it looks like a caravan of cars on trailers heading out that way.
well, our car count this year has been, every year it's gotten better and better. Like we average this year probably 85 cars, I would say, per event, which is good. Like
a lot.
our last championship night, we had 131 cars there. So I mean, that's been probably our biggest car count, other than our very first night we opened up was probably the biggest car count we had, because like I said, I've been out racing my whole life, and I think a lot of people just came out to kind of support me. And the very first race there was very unorganized, and we've come a long way since that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But,
You know, I think it's something that's probably underappreciated, and I say this with all due respect. You know, you guys are kind of out of the way out there, but I don't think people realize how many folks come in and nobody's pulling a race car with a Yugo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nope.
They're big trucks, big trailers. You know, like you said, race cars aren't cheap.
Yeah, there's
You
people
know, there's a
coming
big
in.
economic
I think
impact.
most of them, in all honesty, I don't really know how many from out of towners, but I think a lot, because there's not really a whole lot of local racers here,
No.
really. So most
I'd
of
say
our
there's
cars,
only
Right.
a handful.
most of our cars come
Good,
from.
yeah,
from
it's a
out of
good
town.
shot in the arm for
Yeah.
folks coming out here, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yep.
coming out and spend. It's probably a little cheaper, a little bit different for them to get out of where they're at. You
And
know?
then for this race here, we hooked up with the Yavi, which gave us a better room rate or whatever. So I know they
great.
booked a lot of rooms over at the Yavi this year. And like I said, hopefully we can build next year and make it bigger and better. That's
Absolutely.
That's my plan.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to do our part, you know, pushing this out there. And like I said, we'll do some promotion. We have those flyers,
And I'll
things like
give you some
that.
tickets. I got some tickets out of my truck. I'll give you some tickets and.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll
That's fine.
we'll promote, get those out there. I'm trying to think what the hell I got going on. I know I'm watching the Mohave playoff game Friday, but I think I'll take my daughter and we'll go out, and
Yeah, come hang out Saturday night.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about that first?
I expect VIP treatment, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big purse.
I would say I think that's the biggest purse you've put out since.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
$7,777.
The biggest one before that was 2,500 to win. That was the
Yeah.
biggest. So this here's a big jump.
That
for
is a
us,
big
so.
draw. That is not a small amount of money.
I'll say this is probably the second biggest purse for modifieds on the West Coast. They had a 10,000 to win up in
Oregon.
Wisconsin or Washington or Oregon, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
that's
probably
awesome.
the highest.
So let me ask you, as a driver, does that change your motivation any?
Absolutely, you know this.
Like, I can afford to fix the car if I push
Yeah.
a little harder.
You know that'll pay for the last 3-4 months of racing. Just that'll zero out the last few months of racing for me.
Oh wow.
So
Very
it's
cool.
a lot.
So I want to ask you guys some fun, silly questions.
Do it.
Favorite type of racing?
My favorite is dirt late model racing.
So
That's my
I'm with
favorite.
Ron. I love the dirt late models. Same
no-
concept as the modifieds, but they open 900 horsepower motors, tires that are twice as wide of us, and big aero packages on them. They're doing 130, 140 around racetracks.
Yeah, that to me is the best, and then my second best would be the wing sprint cars. I mean, it's
Yep.
like
I would say wing sprint cars on dirt. That has a special place in my heart. Those are pretty cool. Even the non-wings that come out to us are pretty awesome to watch. I actually have a little short clip of I was flagging an event, and you can watch the leader cross the finish line doing a wheelie, and you see me. I have to break focus a sec because I have to watch it.
Yeah.
But those guys are cool. Growing up in the asphalt world, I'm always going to be partial to super late models on asphalt. But also just our local things. I'm going to catch some flack from this one next to me, but I like the dwarf cars. They're little, they look like 1930s pickup trucks, but they're motorcycle powered, engines, and and they're just
we get
these
a lot of them.
cool
Yeah,
little
they're
things
really-
that those things rip around the racetrack, and they're small, and you can fit a ton of them on the racetrack at a time. But they're fun to watch because the racing is so so close and so fun. So as a flagman, I do enjoy watching those races, even though sometimes they can be a little bit of the hot mess express out there for me.
So what's the worst kind of racing? Like, what do you I just can't get into it.
Foot racing, probably.
Yeah.
Any racing with a motor is good racing to me.
Yeah, I
Love
don't
it.
think there's a bad race out
You
there.
know, like anti-drag racing or anti, you
I
know.
watch it all. I like.
Yeah.
I
That's
watch-
cool.
You know, everything. They all have their own things. Like drag cars, to me, the fascinating thing for me is how they get that much horsepower hooked up to the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Well, you
that's
know,
still
as soon as they
amazing.
don't, and they go nowhere, and you just see a cloud
yeah.
of
Oh,
smoke,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so everything, all racing to me, I watch it all. There's not a race. If there's a race on, I'm watching it.
Yep.
Yeah, like there's their own streaming platforms. I'll be bored at home one night and, oh, look they're boat racing here. I'll click that on. And, just something to watch, background noise.
Very cool. So there've been a lot of really good race movies that have come out lately. What's the best movie about racing?
It's either Days of Thunder or Talladega
I
Nights.
say Talladega Nights is the good comedy about it, but
Does that count as a real race movie?
not really. But
There's
The
nothing
shake
better-
and bake and the
Yeah,
slingshot is
there's
not.
nothing better than live action. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not really the movie guy to watch because, to me, I know race. I've been around it. And
Yep.
it's still too fake.
yeah, you catch the stuff. They're shifting all the time. You're like, that's not
They're
what
hitting the
happens.
wall.
all the
Yeah, no, you don't shift over.
Yeah, they're
race
hitting
track.
the wall. They're hitting the wall, and they're still racing. That doesn't happen very.
No.
That don't
Yeah.
happen.
No.
You know, I think Days of Thunder was my first exposure to NASCAR, and I, at the this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, my uncle was very into NASCAR, and I don't think he was as into
Yeah.
it as
It's
I
probably one of
was.
the more realistic ones,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
had camera cars
agree,
during
yeah.
the actual races.
Yeah.
They had to qualify cars in with the camera strapped to the back so they can film B-roll from the movie.
I did not know that. That's badass.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, made me a Mellow Yellow fan.
I heard there's a rumor that number 2 is supposed to be coming, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm adamantly opposed to them remaking every movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, when they did that, well, they didn't really remake it. It was a sequel. When they redid Top Gun, it was pretty legit.
That
Yeah.
was pretty,
So if
that
they
was a
could
good
kind of
one.
like capture that same magic, I'd be open to that.
Yep. That was Top Gun. Maverick was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I apologize. I don't know if you guys have to run or we're coming up right about an hour. Does it feel like we go fast or
I got
slow?
a lot of work to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
It actually felt like time
Yeah,
went
it
by
did feel like
slow.
an hour, but
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, I know, Ron, you said we forgot to make up you and give you a wardrobe, but that's how we do it around here, man. We just come on here and wing it and
Just
talk
wing
with
it,
the
yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
And, I really want to reiterate, it's a lot of fun to go out there, in terms of going out and it's so funny. I think we all hear it. There's nothing to do here, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing to do here. Nowhere. I can't do anything with my kids. I don't, do this, do that.
That's what I don't get. I don't get why we don't get more people out.
Yeah,
really,
drive your
honestly.
butts out to the
Because it's like,
raceway
yeah, I
and watch your kids be shocked at how into it they are.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And that's
Bring your
what they
protection.
need. Like I said, like my kids race, and it's like, to be honest, in my opinion, I think it keeps people off the streets. Really, it
Yeah.
gives them something to do, keeps them around the house, working on your car. I mean, there's so much. You walk around now, all the little kids now, they're on their telephone, and they're not really.
Yeah,
What's
really
that
engaged.
meme say? It's like give your kid an addiction that's more expensive than drugs, and they won't have time for drugs.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Go get a race car. You'll be too busy.
Race car definitely checks that
Yeah.
box.
Worked for me at least, so
No, my
Good
kids-
job, Jim. Good
I've
job.
I've been fortunate. My kids, I didn't have no trouble, and there's a lot of their friends they grew up with. I mean, they got in trouble because they didn't really have.
We
Kids
see
have too much free time out there. I think.
so
That's
much
my
of those
opinion.
kids have zero passion that are in trouble in the bad thing. They don't have an interest. And whatever you find that is your interest, if it takes you away from downtime, negative things, trouble, you ain't got time to get in
Absolutely.
trouble.
Yeah. That's the
Absolutely.
truth. Yeah, you spend it. Racing takes a lot of time and like I said, money. But I've done a lot of things in my life. And there's nothing better.
yeah.
It's true.
Well, I will let you get out of here because I know you got probably painting to do, roofing to do, plumbing to do, everything else. But is there any way to expose people, like put them in the car and let them feel? Do you guys have like a day where you go out and you can just cruise around and get kids involved? Like, it's really hard to break into racing if it's not in your thing. But to become a spectator, I'll tell you, it only takes one ride or
That's what I
one.
think, yeah. And we've talked about maybe putting a car together with, you know, two-seater or whatever, but it's, you know, it's nowadays, to make things to where you could pay your bills and all that, you need like pretty much, we race like 4 divisions out there, not including the kids. We have 4 main events. We usually run this modified as our main thing. We have sprint cars, and we've incorporated the dwarf cars as our 3 major main every week. And then we bring in the sport mods and the mini stocks, and we get the midgets, and you know, that we incorporate throughout the year to throw in a few races a year. But it takes so much time to do that. You don't have much time on intermission. Back when like I was racing my dad, we only ran 2 divisions, so you had a little bit of break time in between that, and you just don't seem to have that nowadays.
No.
You know, back when my dad raced, even when I raced, we didn't do that. Back in the 60s, when my dad raced, before the main event, I kind of wanted to incorporate that back into my racetrack, but I don't ever see that happening because the time factor. You know, the driver used to be out of their cars and sit next to their cars, so the fans could actually see who they were and be, you know, a little bit more affiliated
Put
with
a
the
face to
drivers.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And you just don't have the time to do that now because you have to try to get your races in 3.5 hours because people get bored and they start leaving. So it's just not.
We
enough.
don't have much for attention spans these
There's not,
days.
yeah, there's just not enough time to do that. As much as I would like to do that, it's just.
Yeah.
A lot of it too is, you know, from back then to now, our safety gear's gone through the roof. You know, it takes us 5 minutes to strap into the car now versus back then you hop in, seat belts, helmet, you're good to go. Now you got helmets, window nets, you got to clip in your neck restraint system.
Back when I started racing, this was my
Yeah,
driving seat.
exactly. So,
Those are the good old days. So, who's the best racer of all time?
you know, the cliche answer should be Dale Earnhardt. You know, that's who. You know, I was born after his death, but that's who all the highlights were about as a kid. You know, him and Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson were the 3 that every time you turned on the TV, it was one of those 3 somewhere. Or doing something on TV or anything like that.
Yep.
So,
The all-time got to be that done everything. Is my favorite NASCAR driver would be David Pierce and Bobby Allison. All-time greats got to be A.J. Foyt and Mario Andretti because they ran everything. So it's
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
kind of
that's-
cool you see a lot of people doing multiple
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
again.
Right
and
now,
you don't really see that much anymore either.
yeah, now you got Kyle Larson on the NASCAR side. He's racing NASCAR on Sundays. Wednesdays he's in a sprint car. Thursdays he's in a late model somewhere, and you know, it brings big eyes to the track and all the smaller events.
Can't forget Tony Stewart, because I mean,
Yeah.
he's now doing his thing, drag racing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's cool that he's actually kind of tight in local in Lake Havasu. So
Yeah.
that's always a name too to think about. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool
Yeah.
if he came out to visit on
Yeah.
a sprint car night. That'd be cool.
So one of the best grassroots.
Got to put that
guys-
together somehow.
Yeah.
Got to hit them on the facey space, you know.
Yeah.
Book of faces. So
Yeah, well, that's what I'm lacking is social media. You know, that's something. Like
Man, you need a young guy who understands social media
Yeah.
world, man.
Yeah.
I don't even understand all the social media stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If I get out there, I'll take some pictures and I will post it on our page. Our page is kind of a growing page, but we do have a good following on Jeff's and the Finley page, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really grateful you guys came out, talked about it. I'm gonna get my butt out there. I hope the snack bar's good. What do you got for snacks? I am a fat guy. I like
Well,
to eat, so.
We have actually this week. We got my wife makes homemade chili, and then we're gonna do like a walking taco for this week. We've never had that before, so we're bringing that new this
Well,
week.
why are we just talking about this now?
we should have let
Should
off
open
this.
with food. That seems to always do it.
Like
so.
I tell people, I didn't get this skinny from not eating.
Yes, yeah. Listen, everywhere I go, I got to find some food. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, you talk about a universal language right there. So
Gotta get some pizza out there for
if
Shane.
you come out,
Yeah, I know.
find a friend that
I'm a
hasn't ever
sucker.
been out and try to drag them out with you, because that's how we grow the sport, is get new people energized, you know. So if you're headed out this weekend to see us, you know, come hang out with us, you know, yell at me in the flag stand. I'll always turn around and wave to you. But bring a friend out that's maybe never been or hasn't been
Do
in a
people
while.
heckle the flag guy? What are you doing? Why are you waving that flag?
Oh, I'm
every
sure.
chance I get.
Oh, that wasn't you telling me I'm number 1?
No, not this time.
I'll tell you number one if I go out there. So. Is your car dialed in, ready to go, or are you just like
Just
last
about.
minute?
He's
Just
been
about.
running good this year. He's
Yeah.
been
Not a
right
lot of
there.
work the last couple races, so just
Second in points.
making sure all the nuts and bolts are tight.
You got to get
and-
your pops to drag it up there and park it out in the service driver in the
Yeah.
showroom for a couple days and promote it. You
There we
know,
go.
we got a little pole in the showroom. We
Yeah.
can probably make that happen.
Yeah, we did it with that red car we showed earlier. It was up there for a day
Yeah.
or so. So
Yeah, just park it up there, leave it up there till you need it.
There's my wife calling.
Keep everybody away from it. Don't let them touch.
Oh, there's corporate.
Uh-oh. Got HR department.
The big boss is calling.
Yeah. Well, that's usually our sign to go when the wife start calling. Jeff, do you have that flyer? One more time, guys. $7,777.77. Big money out there this weekend. Correct?
Yep.
And get out there, man. Go support it. Go check it out. A lot of fun. And listen, even if you can't go, I understand when you have young kids, it's kind of tough to get them to sit out there for the whole thing. Get out there and for
It's also being live streamed. and you
yeah,
watch
for the
live
value
stream,
that
so-
you're talking about a ticket, man, that's an hour or two well spent.
Yeah.
And get out there, eat some tacos, watch some race cars, give Sean the bird.
Hey.
Call it a good time. Fellas, you got anything for everybody before we get out of here?
No,
I think that's it.
practices tomorrow night. We're racing the qualifying main events and everything Thursday, Friday. And the actual duel, which is a 40-lap main event, is going to be Saturday. So we look forward to seeing everybody out there and supporting local.
Very cool.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Young man,
problem.
best of luck.
Thank
Get
ya.
that car up there. Do a little promotion.
Yeah.
We'll have one of the, you've seen some of our guys up there.
Yeah,
We'll
get
do
it
a,
up there.
do a tiki-talk.
Yeah.
You want an open trailer towed around the.
I don't got one anymore.
Yeah, I got one in my house. You want to pick it up, put your car, and you
Sure.
tow it around town.
Just drive the parking lots.
Yeah. I had one of those sign trucks through town. Just park it random
Yeah,
places.
just park it right there. Jeff, you got any? I didn't miss any pictures,
I
videos.
think that's another thing.
I'll tell you, we'll
Back
find that
in
link.
the day, everybody had open trailers, so people, you'd be at the gas station. Now everything's in close, so people don't know what you have
Yep.
in your trailer. I think
Yeah.
that really.
They assume you're moving
believe it or
furniture.
not,
Yeah.
I think that, people don't know that there's a race car in there, so.
Yep.
Back when I started racing, everything was on an open trailer, so people, when you.
Back in my day, we wanted everybody to see our cool stuff,
Yeah.
so we left everything out as much
That's
as possible.
another thing that's changed, really.
Oh, yeah.
You just pop your gas in your race car there, people come and talk to you and ask you
Yeah.
where you race, but now you don't really have that either.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find that video. We'll post it in the comment section so people can see it. It was actually a really cool hype video.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go answer the phone. Make sure the missus is happy. Tell her we're just joking about the divorce thing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.